Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of our podcast. We are really happy you chose to spend this time with us today, wherever you are in the world, and whatever your day looks like right now.
This podcast is a calm place where we learn English through real conversations, real pauses, and real feelings. Before we begin, we gently invite you to subscribe to the channel and stay with us in the next episodes.
Today is a special episode because it is long, slow, and meant to be lived, not rushed. We will talk about cooking, but also about life, habits, and the small moments that often pass unnoticed.
Cooking is something most of us do every day, sometimes with love, sometimes with tiredness, and sometimes without any feeling at all. Today, we want to talk about all of that honestly.
And we are not alone today. We have a guest who brings warmth and real experience into this conversation. Her name is Salma, and we are very happy to have her with us.
Thank you so much. I feel very comfortable being here, and I love the calm energy of this space already. We're happy you're here, Salma. Let's start very gently. When you hear the word cooking, what is the first feeling that comes to your mind?
The first feeling is calm, but not the calm you feel on vacation. It's a quiet calm, the kind that comes from repetition and familiarity. Cooking feels like something that knows me well.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. Was it always like this for you?
No, not at all. For a long time, cooking felt heavy. It felt like something I had to do, not something I chose. I remember feeling pressure even before I entered the kitchen.
Pressure from where?
From expectations, from myself, from the idea that food should always be good, balanced, and appreciated. I felt that if the food failed, I failed with it.
Many people feel that way, but they don't talk about it.
Yes, because it sounds small, but when you repeat something every day, it becomes big. Cooking is not just one moment, it's a daily relationship.
How did that relationship start for you?
It started very simply. I learned cooking by watching others. I didn't ask many questions. I copied movements, not recipes. I cooked without confidence, always worried about the result.
Were you afraid of making mistakes?
Very afraid, especially when other people were going to eat the food. I would imagine their reactions before they even tasted it.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. Cooking took energy instead of giving it. I didn't enjoy the smells, the sounds, or the process. I was always thinking about the end.
So what changed?
Time changed it. And honesty. One day, I admitted to myself that I was tired of trying to cook correctly. I wanted to cook honestly.
What does honestly mean here?
It means cooking according to my energy, my mood, and my reality. Not cooking like someone else on the internet. Not cooking to impress.
That sounds like freedom.
It is freedom. The day I accepted simple food was the day cooking became lighter.
Many people feel guilty when they cook simple meals.
I used to feel that guilt too. I thought simple food meant laziness. Now I see it as kindness toward myself.
Kindness is not something we connect with cooking often.
But we should. We eat every day. If food is connected to guilt, then guilt enters our life every day too.
That's a very deep point.
Cooking reflects how we treat ourselves. If we rush, judge, and criticize ourselves in the kitchen, we often do the same in life.
When did you start feeling calm while cooking?
Slowly. It started with small moments. Standing quietly while water boiled. Cutting vegetables without music. Just listening to the sound of the knife.
Silence in the kitchen.
Yes. Silence helped me hear myself. I noticed when I was tired. I noticed when I was impatient. Cooking became a mirror.
That's very powerful.
It was not always comfortable, but it was honest.
Do you remember a moment when you thought, I don't hate cooking anymore.
Yes. One evening, I cooked something very simple, nothing special. I ate alone, slowly, without my phone. And I felt full, not only in my stomach but in my chest, too.
That sounds like a turning point.
It was. I realized that cooking didn't need to be impressive to be meaningful.
Many listeners might be listening right now while cooking.
I hope they feel less alone. Cooking doesn't need to look beautiful to be enough.
Before we move deeper, I want to ask you something personal. When you think about cooking today, what does it give you?
It gives me rhythm. On days when everything feels chaotic, cooking gives structure. It reminds me that some things can be slow and still useful.
Slow and useful. I love that.
Life often tells us to be fast. Cooking tells us to wait. And waiting is not a waste of time.
That's a lesson many of us need.
Cooking taught me patience in a very quiet way.
And this is only the beginning of the conversation.
Yes. In the next part, we will talk about daily habits, friends, shared meals, and the role cooking plays in Salma's everyday life.
Stay with us, take a breath, and let this conversation flow naturally.
Let's continue gently. Salma, I'd love for you to take us through a full normal day in your life and tell us how cooking appears in that day, without trying to make it sound perfect.
I like that you said normal. My days are very normal. Some are heavy, some are light, and most of them are somewhere in between. Cooking changes shape depending on the day.
Let's start with the morning. How does your day usually begin?
Mornings are quiet for me. I don't like loud mornings or complicated food. I usually prepare something very simple, sometimes just bread and olive oil, sometimes eggs, sometimes nothing warm at all.
So no pressure from the beginning.
Exactly. Morning food should not ask too much from you. It should support you, not test you.
Many people skip breakfast because they feel it takes too much effort.
I understand that. When I'm tired, I don't force myself. I learned that forcing myself in the morning makes the whole day harder.
That's very honest.
I used to think discipline meant doing the same thing every day. Now I think discipline also means listening to yourself.
What about lunchtime?
Lunch depends a lot on my energy. If my day is busy or emotionally heavy, I cook something very easy. Rice, pasta, soup, food that feels familiar and safe.
Comfort food.
Yes, but not always emotional comfort. Sometimes practical comfort. Food that doesn't require many decisions.
Decisions can be tiring.
Very tiring. Cooking became easier when I reduced the number of choices. I stopped asking myself, what amazing thing should I cook? And started asking, what is enough for today?
That question alone can change everything.
It really did for me.
And dinner?
Dinner is different. Dinner is slower. Even if I'm tired, I try to make dinner a little more intentional. Not fancy, but present.
What do you mean by present?
I don't rush. I don't eat standing. I sit down. Sometimes I eat alone, sometimes with others, but I try to be there fully.
That sounds like care.
It is care. Dinner feels like closing the day gently.
You mentioned habits before. Can you share some small habits that made cooking easier for you over time?
Of course. One of the biggest habits is preparing food before I actually need it. I wash vegetables earlier. I cut them when I have energy, not when I'm already tired.
That makes a big difference.
It really does. Another habit is cleaning while cooking, not after. This keeps my mind calmer.
That's a very practical tip.
I also stopped cooking with my phone in my hand. I used to scroll while cooking, and it made everything feel rushed and distracted.
So cooking became more mindful.
Yes. Even 5 minutes of full attention can change how the kitchen feels.
Earlier, you talked about your 3 friends. I feel like they are an important part of your story. Can you tell us more about how food connects you?
They are very important. With them, food is never about judgment. Every time I try something new, I invite them over,
Even when you're unsure.
especially when I'm unsure. Sometimes I say, I don't know how this will taste, before they even arrive.
And how do they react?
They smile, they sit down, they taste. Sometimes they love it, sometimes they laugh, sometimes they make jokes about it.
Do you remember a moment like that?
Yes, very clearly. Once I tried a new dish, and it was honestly not good. It was too salty, and the texture was strange. We all looked at each other and started laughing.
That sounds like a good memory, not a bad one.
Exactly. We laughed so much. And instead of feeling embarrassed, I felt connected. Food failed, but the moment succeeded.
That's beautiful.
Many times they also encourage me. They tell me, next time will be better, or at least you tried. That support changed my relationship with cooking.
It turned fear into play.
Yes, cooking became lighter. Failure stopped being scary.
Are there days when cooking still feels heavy for you?
Of course, cooking did not become magical. Some days I don't want to enter the kitchen at all.
And what do you do on those days?
I give myself permission to do less. I eat something very simple, or I order food, or I repeat the same meal.
No guilt.
I work on removing guilt. Guilt doesn't help me cook better. It only makes me tired.
That's an important message.
Cooking should support life, not control it.
Do you think repetition helped you become more comfortable with cooking?
Yes, very much. Cooking the same meals again and again taught me confidence. I stopped trying to learn everything at once.
That's comforting to hear.
Repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity creates calm.
That applies to language learning, too.
Exactly. Cooking and learning a language are very similar. You make mistakes, you repeat, and slowly things feel natural.
That's a beautiful connection.
Before we move to the next chapter, I want to ask you one last question for this part. What does cooking give you now that it didn't give you before?
It gives me trust. Trust that I can take care of myself even in small ways, even on difficult days.
Thank you for sharing that.
In the next chapter, we will go deeper. We will talk about memories, emotions, failure, and how cooking connects to mental health and healing.
Stay with us. Let the conversation continue at its own pace.
Welcome back. As we continue this conversation, I feel that we are entering a deeper space now, a space where cooking is no longer just a daily habit, but something connected to memory and emotion.
Yes, this part feels slower, heavier in a gentle way. Salma, many people carry memories in smells and tastes. Do you feel that cooking brings memories back for you?
Very strongly. Sometimes I don't even expect it. I start cooking something simple, and suddenly a memory appears without asking for permission.
What kind of memories?
Small ones, not dramatic moments, simple scenes, a kitchen at night, someone talking softly, the sound of a spoon touching a pot. Cooking doesn't bring back events, it brings back feelings.
That's very poetic.
It feels poetic because it's quiet. Loud memories fade, but quiet ones stay.
Do you enjoy those memories when they come, or do they make you sad?
Both. Sometimes they warm my heart. Sometimes they make me pause and breathe deeply. But I don't push them away anymore.
You allow them to exist.
Yes. Cooking taught me that emotions don't need to be solved. They need to be felt.
Earlier, we talked a little about failure in the kitchen. I'd like to go deeper now. What does failure mean to you today?
Today, failure means information. It tells me something, it doesn't define me.
That's a big change.
A very big one. Before, when food failed, I felt stupid. I felt like I should have known better.
Many people feel that way.
Yes, especially women. We are often taught that cooking is something we should be naturally good at.
That pressure is real.
Very real. But failure taught me humility and humor. I learned to laugh at burned food instead of crying over it.
Do you remember a failure that helped you learn something important?
Yes. One time I tried to cook something complicated because I wanted to prove something to myself. I followed the recipe perfectly, but the food still didn't work.
That must have been frustrating.
It was. But it taught me that effort doesn't always equal success, and that's okay. Some days are just like that.
That's a lesson for life, too.
Exactly. Cooking became a safe place to practice acceptance.
You mentioned acceptance. Do you feel cooking has helped your mental health over time?
Yes, deeply. On days when my mind feels heavy, cooking gives my hands something to do. It grounds me.
So it brings you back to the present moment.
Yes. Chopping vegetables, stirring, waiting. These actions are simple, but they keep me here.
That sounds like mindfulness.
It is mindfulness, but without pressure. I don't tell myself to be calm. Calmness comes naturally.
That's very important. Many people feel pressure even when trying to relax.
Cooking never asks me to be happy. It only asks me to show up.
That's beautiful.
Let's talk again about your friends. How did they influence the way you deal with failure?
They normalized it. When I failed, they didn't make it dramatic. They laughed, they ate what they could, and they stayed.
Staying is important.
Very important. One time I cooked something new and it was honestly terrible. I was ready to apologize the whole evening.
And what happened?
They told me, "It's okay. We are here for you, not for the food." That sentence stayed with me.
That must have been powerful.
It was. It changed how I see hospitality. Hospitality is not about perfect food. It's about presence.
That's a lesson many people need to hear.
Do you see cooking as a form of healing now?
Yes, but not in a dramatic way. It's a quiet healing. Cooking doesn't fix everything. It just holds you while you heal.
That's a very gentle image.
Healing doesn't always need big changes. Sometimes it needs repetition and care.
Do you ever cook when you are sad?
Yes, especially then. I cook very simple food: soup, rice, warm things.
Warmth matters.
Warmth matters a lot. Warm food tells your body that it is safe.
That's such an important message.
What would you say to someone who feels like they are bad at cooking?
I would say this: you are not bad at cooking. You are just learning, and learning takes time.
That's comforting.
I would also say that cooking is not a competition. No one is watching you in your kitchen.
Except ourselves.
Yes, and we are often the hardest judges. Cooking taught me to be kinder to myself,
Kindness keeps coming back in this conversation.
because it's the most important ingredient.
This chapter feels very full.
Yes, very full and very honest.
In the next and final chapter, we will slow down even more. We will talk about meaning, long-term habits, and how cooking can become a lifelong companion.
Stay with us. There is still space to breathe.
As we move into this part, the conversation feels softer, like we are no longer explaining things, but understanding them together.
Yes, this chapter feels less about learning how to cook and more about learning how to live with ourselves. Salma, do you feel that cooking became something that stays with you through time, not just a phase?
Very much. Cooking stopped being an activity and became a rhythm, something that repeats gently in my life, like breathing or walking.
A rhythm you can return to.
Exactly. No matter how my life changes, cooking stays. Even when I move, even when my schedule changes, the kitchen becomes familiar again.
That familiarity sounds comforting.
It is. Cooking gives me a sense of continuity. When everything else feels uncertain, the act of preparing food reminds me that some things remain.
Do you think your relationship with cooking changed as you grew older?
Yes, a lot. When I was younger, I wanted quick results. I wanted food to be fast and impressive. Now I value slowness.
Slowness often comes with maturity.
Yes. I realized that rushing food often meant rushing myself. Slowing down in the kitchen helped me slow down in life.
That's a beautiful connection.
Aging taught me that care is more important than excitement. Cooking slowly is a form of respect for my body and my time.
Do you think cooking can teach patience?
Absolutely. Food cannot be rushed. You can't force water to boil faster by staring at it. Cooking teaches you to wait without frustration.
Waiting without frustration is a skill.
A very important one.
You once described cooking as a companion. Can you explain that more?
A companion is something that walks with you, not something that demands attention all the time. Cooking is like that for me, and
It's there, but it doesn't pressure you.
yes, some days we are very close. I cook with care, music, and time. Other days we barely talk. I cook quickly and move on.
And both are okay.
Both are okay. That's what makes it a healthy relationship.
That idea alone can change how people see cooking.
Cooking doesn't need intensity to be meaningful. It needs consistency and kindness. Let's talk about the body. Do you feel cooking helped you listen to your body better?
Yes. When I cook regularly, I notice what my body asks for. Warm food, light food, simple food.
That awareness is important.
Very important. I stopped eating based on rules and started eating based on needs. Cooking helped me hear those needs.
Did that change how you feel about food?
Completely. Food stopped being an enemy or a reward. It became a conversation.
A conversation with yourself.
Yes. Cooking taught me to ask, "What do I need today?" instead of, "What should I eat?"
If someone younger asked you about cooking, what would you tell them?
I would tell them not to rush their relationship with it. Cooking grows slowly, like trust.
That's very true.
I would also tell them that mistakes are part of the process. Burned food is not failure. It's experience.
Do you enjoy teaching others how to cook?
Only when it's gentle. I don't like strict teaching. I like showing, not correcting.
Learning through watching.
Yes, that's how I learned. And it's how I feel most comfortable teaching.
Do you think your cooking will change in the future?
Of course, and I welcome that. My cooking will change with my body, my time, my priorities.
You allow it to evolve.
I do. I don't want cooking to stay frozen in one version of me.
That flexibility feels wise.
Life is flexible. Cooking should be too.
If someone is listening right now and feels tired of cooking, what would you like to tell them?
This chapter feels like a slow exhale.
Yes, like we are putting things gently back in place.
In the final chapter, we will bring everything together. We will reflect, close the circle, and leave our listeners with warmth, not answers.
Stay with us for the last part. There is still a quiet ending waiting.
We've reached the final chapter, and it feels like we're sitting closer now, not as hosts and guests, but as people who shared time together.
Yes, this doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like slowing down before standing up from the table.
That's exactly how it feels to me. Like the last moments after a long meal, when no one wants to rush away.
Maybe that's the best kind of ending. We've reached the final chapter, and it feels like we're sitting closer now, not as hosts and guests, but as people who shared time together.
Yes, this doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like slowing down before standing up from the table.
That's exactly how it feels to me. Like the last moments after a long meal, when no one wants to rush away.
Maybe that's the best kind of ending. We've reached the final chapter, and it feels like we're sitting closer now, not as hosts and guests, but as people who shared time together.
Yes, this doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like slowing down before standing up from the table.
That's exactly how it feels to me. Like the last moments after a long meal, when no one wants to rush away.
Maybe that's the best kind of ending.
Salma, when you look back at this conversation, what stayed with you the most?
The honesty. We didn't try to make cooking sound perfect or magical all the time. We talked about it as it is. Simple, tiring sometimes, comforting other times.
That balance is rare.
Because life is balanced that way. Cooking is not separate from life. It reflects it.
Do you feel changed after talking about it for so long?
Yes, in a quiet way. It reminded me why I kept cooking even when I didn't enjoy it. It was never about joy alone. It was about care.
Many people feel disconnected these days. Do you think cooking can create a sense of belonging?
Very much. Cooking makes you feel rooted, even if you move a lot or live alone.
Rooted where?
In yourself first. When you cook, you create a small home inside your day.
That's a powerful idea.
Even if the kitchen is small, even if the meal is simple, it tells you, you are here, you matter enough to be fed.
That sentence alone can change someone's evening. Food often carries memories. How do you experience that?
Sometimes without realizing it, I cook something simple, and suddenly I remember my childhood or a friend or a moment I forgot I still carried.
Does that ever feel heavy?
Sometimes, but mostly it feels grounding. Memories remind me that I have lived, that I have been loved.
Cooking becomes a bridge.
Yes, between who I was and who I am now.
If you could leave our listeners with one gentle thought tonight, what would it be?
I would tell them not to be hard on themselves in the kitchen or in life.
That's something many need to hear.
You don't need to cook beautifully, you don't need to eat perfectly, you don't need to enjoy every moment.
Just showing up is enough.
Yes, caring even in small ways is already a success.
Do you have a small cooking ritual you'd like to share?
Yes, I always taste my food quietly before serving it, even if I'm alone.
Quietly?
Yes, no phone, no talking, just one moment of attention.
That's beautiful.
It reminds me that the meal deserves presence, even if no one is watching.
That can apply to many things in life.
Exactly. Many things lose meaning because we rush past them.
Before we close, is there something you wish people would stop believing about cooking?
That it has to look good to be good.
Social media pressure.
Yes, real cooking is messy, uneven, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, and that's okay.
Imperfection makes it human.
And humanity is enough.
This conversation felt like a long evening that slowly turned into night.
And now it feels like we're gently turning off the lights, not because we're done, but because rest matters.
Thank you for creating a space where nothing needed to be rushed.
Thank you for sharing your honesty.
And thank you to everyone listening for staying with us this long,
Wherever you are right now, we hope you feel a little warmer.
a little less alone.
And maybe, just maybe, a little kinder to yourself.
This was Alex.
This was Moon.
And I'm Salma.
Thank you for listening. Take care, and we'll meet again.